Hey everybody, it's Darren again, doing my daily long drive home. So I thought I'd get on and share another thought that I had. I was thinking a lot about this, about how a lot of us, when we were raised and things, we were told not to brag about ourselves or to be too boastful or anything like that. And so I noticed that we sort of take that into our lives, and we think that we know that we're a good person, and we know the things we're doing and not doing, so other people should know that too. And so that's basically where I would look at and say, well, we can't assume those things, because the reality is people don't know what we're doing and the things we're getting done every day. I've always thought about that as far as when I walk through the door and my wife and kids are there, and you may sit there and think, well, how can they do this or say this or unload this on me when don't they know the day I've had? No, they don't know the day you've had. Nobody knows what happened until you walk through that door. And so basically that's something I learned at work. My first few jobs that I had were a lot more data driven, so your managers and their managers and everybody could see exactly what you were doing, whether it was dollars coming in or out, or the amount of transactions being done, whatever. So that made it a lot easier. So you didn't really have to go and and toot your own horn or assume that people did or didn't know what you were doing. But then I've noticed that, especially with the current place I've worked and some other places that I've worked too, someone would come to me and say, Darren, can you go ahead and take care of this project? And I would say, yeah, sure, no problem. And I would go ahead and just do it. And then a couple hours later, a week later, or whatever it was, the manager would come by or email me or whatever and say, hey, did you get that done? And I would be surprised, like, well, yeah, of course I did. You asked me to do it. Why wouldn't I do it? And that's something that I had to process and learn, was that no, people don't know what you're doing or that you've gotten things done. They're so involved with whatever it is they're doing, or sometimes just thinking about themselves. But a lot of people are so involved in their own job, their own life, their own focus, that they don't focus in on what anybody else is doing. So I think that's important in work and in family and other relationships as well, is that that we go in and we brag about ourselves a little bit. We tell people, hey boss, just want to let you know I went ahead and got that done. I made that a priority and got that done because you said you needed it. That's not bragging. That's letting them know, hey, you told me this was important, so I made it important and I went ahead and got it done. And then what's that manager going to think after they hear that? Every time they give you something, you come back and report about how you got it done, or maybe it's going to take me a little bit of extra time, but this is where I'm at currently with it. They're going to look and say, you know what? I like giving him or her things because they're dependable. They're able to get stuff done. And then I think too, with our family and our relationships as well, that's something where sometimes we only see a limited view of what's going on and what people are, we may be focused in on one or two things, like, oh, well, why isn't so-and-so not taking out the trash? They never do anything around this house. That's not true. If we were to step back and look, we'd see, wait a minute, oh no, they actually are doing a whole bunch of things. That's why they can't get to the garbage. So I think that's helpful too, is to maybe just make note to the other members of your family, or your wife, or whoever, that you make note of. Oh, here's the things I did today, and wow, I've been working so hard, and just brag about yourself a little bit, so that people know, oh, I didn't realize you got all that done. Because like I said, most people are focused in on themselves or whatever it is they're doing. So you kind of have to go and let them know, this is what I did, or this is what I'm doing, so that they know. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't times where we shouldn't do, service for other people and it's secret. That's a separate thing. But if you're, doing things at work or, chores to help a family member, or even just talking about how rough your day was, because people don't know that. They don't know until you tell them. And that was something I just assumed that, people know me, they'll know I'll just get that done, or they know when they shoot me that email, if I don't respond right away, that I'm doing it. No, nobody knows. So I guess that's, and some of you probably already knew that, but I'm just saying, feel free to brag a little bit about yourself, about the hard work you're doing, and let people know, hey, these are the things I got done today, or these are the things that happened today, or let me share with you some of the things I'm struggling with. I think more communication is better in all aspects, and I think especially at work and stuff, if you tell your manager or if you tell your management, this is sort of what I think my job is, and this is what I think your job is, as far as I do whatever I can do, and then when I need you to come in and knock down a wall or help me out, then that's when I would go ahead and ask you to come help me as far as your manager, and talk to them about that. And most managers, when I talk to them about that, they'll agree with me. Yeah, that is my job. And then others will say, no, well, actually my job is this. And then you sort of get an understanding of what each of you is there for. So anyway, I'm just rambling, but I think it's good to, number one, to let people know all the hard work you're doing, and and let them know that things you've been asked to do, that you've gotten done, and not just assume that they know. Well, I'm a good person and they asked me, so they should know that. Well, like I said, people don't always pay attention to that sort of stuff. So, feel free to let them know. And also, I think just more communication in general, and more communications with our bosses and managers, more communications with our families. I mean, everybody. So that way they know sort of what's going on, what we're doing. And then it's not such a shock if there is a problem and we need to go talk to them. They're like, well, wait a minute, why Darren never comes in here? Why is he talking to me now? So anyway, just some things I've learned, and some things that I'm definitely working on, because it's easy to get caught up in the work and just, I'll talk to them later, but and then we forget, obviously, and don't do it. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you, that don't assume that people know what you're doing, or why you're doing what you're doing, or what your motives are, or anything like that. Let them know, talk to them, let them know that, I care about, whatever family member, that's why I made this a priority and got it done, or I care about doing a good job, boss, so that's why when you asked me to do this, I jumped in and did it. So basically let people know, because they're not gonna, for the most part, seek it out on their own. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully you guys get a little bit of, or this information is helpful, or that you gain a little bit of knowledge from me sharing this, or spewing out this stuff out of my head. But let me know what you guys think, and if you want me to keep doing it, just shoot me a note on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. But I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening. Bye.